Hello.
Hola.
Oh,
Good Woche, everybody.
Jorge. Qué linda t-shirt, Jorge.
Mi Trojans. Mi hijo ahí fue.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Shavua Tov, everybody.
Shavua Tov.
Todo todo.
So we're on the Mishnah Daled Amud Beis 4b on the bottom. Haru
Mhm.
Bezdin. So Bezdin made a psak, and it was an error. Va'asu kol kahal or ruban. Either all of the community or majority, 51%. For example, the Bezdin paskin that this piece of chalev was permitted, and they ate it, and so also al pm the and par. The Bezdin brings an atonement apart. If the psak was not on other negative prohibitions, but rather it was related to avodah zarah, then mevi and par v'soyer. They don't just bring a par; they bring a par and a goat. Div Rab Meir. Rabbi Yehuda Omer that it's not the Beis Din that brings the korban; it's every shevet. Shnei masar shvatim mevim shnei masar par. Each shevet brings a par. Each shevet is considered a kahal by itself. Uvavodah zara, meviin shnei masar par, shnei masar seir. If the mistake was regarding avodah zara, so each shevet would bring a par and a goat. Rab Shimon oimer shloisha asar parim. Each shevet brings a par, and another par is brought for Bezdin. Uvavodah zara, shloisha asar parim, ushloisha asar seir. 13 parim and 13 goats, which is par v'sar l'chol shevet v'shevet, and par v'sar l'bezdin. Okay. Haru bezdin v'asu shiva shvatim aruven al pian. Bezdin made a psak, and 7 out of the 12 shvatim acted. Bezdin mevian par. Uvavadazar mevian par v'sar divrei meir. Rabbi Yehuda Omer shiva shvatim shechatu mevian shiva parim. The 7 tribes that sinned, each one brings a par. And listen to this: Ushar shvatim shalom chatu. The remaining 5 shvatim who did not sin also mevian al yedei par. They also bring a par. Shaf elu shlochatu mevian al yedei achoitim. Those that didn't sin bring it on behalf of those that sinned. Rav Shimon Omer, Shmona Parim, the 7. We're talking about again if there are 7 shvatim that did the aveira, so 8 parim are brought in total, 7 by the shvatim, and 1 by the bezdin. Uvavodah zara shmona parim ushmona seirim. Par v'sar l'chol shevet v'shevet, a par and a goat for each shevet, and par v'sar l'bezdin. Haru bezdin shalechad min hashvatim. Now each shevet, besides the bezdin agadol lion, every shevet had their own bezdin. And let's say shevet binyamin, their bezdin made a psak, and that shevet sinned. V'asa oso hashevet al piyam. Osan shevet hu chayiv, ushar kol hashvatim p'turin de Rabbi Yehuda. Only that shevet brings the par. The other 11 shvatim don't have to do anything. That's a Rabbi Yehuda. Chacham Moimrim, ein chayavin elo al bezdin agadol bilvad. Only these parim that are brought for forgetful, for an improper psak, is only brought when the bezdin agadol b'Yushalayim made the psak. According to Chachamim, the local shevet bezdin, if they made a mistake, and there's no par brought by them. Shenemar v'im kol adas Yisrael yishgu v'lo adas shel oso shevet. Okay, so the Mishnah has given us sort of a laundry list of different halachas, and the Gemara first cites a beraisa, which is a informative beraisa, which has a lot of these dinim, and it's going to compare and contrast the beraisa versus the Mishnah. Ton Rabbanan. Yadu shaharu mutis.
Huh.
Yadu shaharu vito. Let's say the Bezdin paskin, but they knew they made a mistake. Vito mahoru. They don't know for sure, though. They know they made a mistake. They don't know the specifics of the mistake. Was it about dam? Was it about chaylev? It was about something that brings a korban, but they weren't sure that they remembered exactly what mistake they made. Yachol yuchayvin chayavin Talmud loymar v'nodah chatat. They have to know the sin that they erroneously paskin. It's not just enough that those who sinned know. Because it says, now, and when it says asher chatu shnei shvatim mevin shnei parim. Because it's mentioned in plural. So if 2 shvatim sinned, 2 parim are brought. Chatu shlosha shvatim mevin shlosha. O eina omer ela chatu shnei yechidim mevin shnei parim. Maybe this means it's not related to the shevet. It 2 different individuals bring 2 parim. Chatu shlosha mevin shlosha. Talmud loymar hakol chayev v'lo kal v'chayev. The kal as a whole. Ketzad chatu shnei shvatim mevin shnei parim. 2 shvatim sinned, parim are brought. Chatu shiva mevin shiva. 7 sinned, you bring 7. What about the shvatim that didn't sin? Ushar shvatim shloi chatu mevin al yadeim par. They also bring a par. Shafilu shel chatu mevin al yadei chotim. Even those that didn't sin will bring a part to atone for those that sin. Kach nemar kol. L'chayv al kol kol v'kol div Rabbi Yehuda. So this is a machloikas tanoi. Rabbi Yehuda learns from that pasuk that even the non-sinning shvatim bring. Now, Rabbi Shimon Oimar, shiva shvatim shechatu mevin shiva parim. The non-sinning shvatim will not bring. Only the shiva shvatim that sin bring. And based in mevin adayim par. Shenemar lamata kol, because it says v'ikrivu hakol, v'nemar lamala hakol. It says v'nelam davar minei hakol. Ma'akol amar lamala based in, which is the einei hakol, the eyes of the kol, imakal, along with the kal, afkal, amar lamata, based in imakol. So that's Rab Shimon. Rameir amar shiva shvatim shechatu, based in mevin adayim par. According to Rab Meir, if 7, which are the majority out of 12 of the shvatim sin, only Bezdin brings. Bezdin mevaydeim par. Vehein pturin. Shenemar kol lamata v'nemar kol lamala. Ma kol amar lamala Bezdin v'lot sipur. Av kol amar lamata Bezdin v'lot sipur. Reb Shimon Lazoimer. Mishmo, in the name of Meir. Chatu shisha shvatim ve'im l'vishal kol. If 6 shvatim, but if you count them up, they equal 51% of the kal. Or shiva, or 7 shvatim, even though they're 49%. Mevi'in par. Okay, that's the beraisa. And now we're going to sort of analyze or dissect this beraisa. Amar mar. V'noda achatos, v'lo shiyodu achoitim. The Beis has to know what mistake they made. It's not enough that the sinners know. Man Tana, who is that Tana? On Rav Yehuda Marav Yitema Rava Shalok Rabbi Eliezer. That Raisa must not be Rabbi Eliezer. Why? This not. Let's say a person has in front of him 2 pieces of fat. One is prohibited as chaylev, and one is prohibited as noiser. Noiser is a korban that was left beyond 24 hours. Now, both averas give you kores. If you ate either of those b'shogeg, you'd have to bring a korban chatas. Now, he ate one of them. He didn't know which one specifically. So you could argue, well, either way, he has to bring a korban chatas, because whether you ate chaylev or whether you ate noiser, you bring a chatas. But he didn't specifically know which one he ate. So Rabbi Eliezer manav shach. No matter what, in chaylev achol chayiv, in noiser achol chayiv. So you should bring a korban. So in our case as well, by the base, they made a mistake. And they know for sure that either, whatever mistake they make, they bring a korban. Our Mishnah said, or our Brisa said, they don't bring a korban. But you see, Rabbi Eliezer holds that as this manav shach, that no matter what you bring a korban, it wouldn't apply to our Brisa. However, Rav Ashi Omar afilu tema Rabbi Eliezer. Rav Ashi wants to resuscitate this Brisa to say that it could also hold like Rabbi Eliezer. Shiny hacha over there, by chaylev or noiser, it says v'nodah chatas asher chatu aleha. I'm sorry, by the mistaken Beis Din, there it says they have to know the chatas. For the Gemara Samnami, by a regular individual who eats these things and have to bring a korban aksiv, oho da elav chatas asher chatabah. So the Gemara says, yeah, but that pasuk is needed for something else. Hahuma boile prat lemisase. Let's say he wasn't even planning to eat; it just happened to go into his mouth. He had no kavanah to eat. It was misase. Then you're potter. Okay. My time at Rabbi Yehuda. We're moving on in the Baraisa. Rabbi Yehuda said that each shevet has to bring their own korban. So Ksavar, in that parsha, Arba Kahal Iksiv. It's written 4 times Kahal. Now, it could have written Kohol, but it wrote HaKahal. So that's as if the Kahal was written twice. And the word hakahal is mentioned twice, because it says me'einei hakahal v'hikrivu hakahal. And in each time it could have written just kahal, hakahal. So you have 4. Now, if you have 4 to learn from, Rabbi Yehuda learns 4 different dinim. Chad l'chayev al kol kol v'kol. He understands each shevet to be considered a kahal. And therefore, if 7 shvatim made this avera, each one has to bring a part. V'chad shohayrot libebezin u'maisa tolebekol. One teaches us that this whole thing discusses where Bezdin makes the psak and the action is carried out by the kal. V'chad greira. Rabbi Yehuda is the one in our Mishnah who learned that if 7 shvatim sinned, not only do those 7 shvatim bring, but the remaining 5 also bring. They are nigrar. They sort of are schlepped along. The chad, the 4th call, comes to teach you that l'shevet she'asa b'raz bezdin, that if their own private bezdin of that shevet made a mistake and the shevet did it, that they have to bring their own too as well. Okay. What does Rab Shimon learn, who argued with Rabbi Yehuda? Tlasa kalik sivi. He says there's only a drasha for 3. Hakahal, kahal. because the word me'enei hakahal, me'enei hakahal, urcha dekra. It's not fit for darshanik. Damri inshi. Me'enei deplani, like this is seen in the eyes of this such and such person. And it's not to teach me another kahal. So therefore, Reb Shimon only has 3 kahals to work with. Chad, l'chayv al-kol v'kol. So number 1, he agrees with Rabbi Yehuda that if 7 shvatim make an aver, all 7 shvatim have to bring. However, what are the other 2 calls? Utrei achrini, the other 2. Nemer lamata kol v'nemer lamalakal. Malahal and bezdin makal. That the bezdin has to bring a korban along with the call. That's why Reb Shimon said that 7 shvatim commit the aver, you have to bring 8 parim, right? That each shevet and the bezdin. Avkan bezdin imakal. Okay, so now we understand the shita of Rabbi Yehuda, that's each 7 and the other 5. We understand the shita of Rab Shimon. It said it's 7 plus 1. Now, Rab Meir held that none of the shvatim bring, only the bezdin brings. Rab Meir, kal hakal loy darsh. He doesn't darshan this, the fact that the Torah writes hakal, that it's a double lashon. Hilkach, trei kahal iksivi. He's only left with 2 kahals to learn from. And he needs them, a boile, for the Gzera Shava. Nemer lamata kal, v'nemer lamalakal, malon bezdin v'lot tzibur. From the me'enei akal, the eyes of the kal. Who are the eyes of the kal? It's bezdin. So it's only bezdin that brings the atonement. Avkan, by the korban, bezdin v'lot tzibur. So now we understand the shita of Rabbi Yehuda, Rab Shimon, and Rav Meir. We're left with the 4th Tana. Rab Shimon Lazar, my taima, ksiv, v'haya im me'eneha edah, alma miuta, it's a miut, t'chsiv me'enei, it's only some of them, not all of them. Uksiv, ki l'chol ha'am bishkaga, lemeimra, it's not all of them, it's ruba. It's got to be a majority of Klal Yisrael, miut to lo. So, so how do you see this contradiction? Also, shisha vein ruba shel kol. If 6 shvatim out of the 12, but if you add them up, they're 51% of the population. Oh, shiva, 7 out of 12. Well, that's afal pisha ein ruba shel kol. Even if you add it up, and they are less than 51%, then chayav. And sometimes a miut is considered part of the din. So, for Rav Shimon and Rav Meir, the fact that the hoyrot tluy bebezdin ma'asato b'kol menalu, we said that all of this starts off with bezdin making a mistake and the kahal doing the aver. Now, Rabbi Yehuda had an extra word, hakahal, to teach us this. Rabbi Shimon and Rav Meir don't have that. Amar Abayad Amar Kra, v'haya im me'enei ha'edah ne'esta lishgaga. That seems to imply that the action of the kal was done based on the me'enei ha'edah of the Sanhedrin. Rava Amar, different source, l'chol ha'am bishgaga. Shkaga was all of them, which based in and the kal. And you divide it up. The Bezdin made the psak, the kal did the maisa. Why do I need 2 psukim? Tzrichi. Because Rachmana v'haya meinei ha'edah ne'esta lishgaga, avamina afilu miuta, even the minority of the kal, they'd have to bring a korban. Lachiksiv, l'chol ha'am bishgaga. It has to be the majority. V'ikos of l'chol ha'am bishgaga, avamina Ada abdi bezdin badi ruba. Maybe the bezdin has to do the act along with the kal. The shkaga for the bezdin was done not through action but through hoyrah, and the ma'isa bezdin doesn't count for anything. These psukim are written by mistakes made by laws of avodah zarah. Yalfinan me'enei akal me'enei ha'eda. The enei akal is discussing other averes. The me'enei ha'eda is discussing avodah zarah. So we learn a hekesh between the two, that it's not just in subject matter avodah zarah, but all other isurim. Okay. Hoyru bezdin shalechad man. We said that if Shevet's bezdin made a mistake, Rabbi Yehuda said that they have to bring a par. Iboilu. Shevet echad Rabbi Yehuda, boiroz beis nagadol, mi maisi shar shvatim or lo. We said that when the beis nagadol makes a mistake, and 7 shvatim do it, we say the other 5 shvatim have to do it. But what about it's only one shevet's beis din made the psak? Do the other shvatim bring it or not? Mi amrin and shiva shvatim who demaisi shar shvatim bahadayu. When 7 shvatim do it, so then the other 5 have to go along with it mishum de ikaruba, because 7 out of 12 is the majority. Aval chad shevet, but one shevet, the lekaruba lo, odim aloishna. Maybe it makes no difference. So toshma, mahin mevian, parecha. Rabbi Yehuda says the shevet brings 1 par. Rabbi Shimon Amar shnei parim. Now, b'mayaskinan, what case are we talking about? Ilem shechatu shiva. Are we talking about 7 sinned? Well, then Rabbi Shimon, Tamna, boy, he said, yeah, 7 plus beis din, which is 8. El shechatu shevet echad. Must be we're talking about 1 shevet sin. Now, b'may, iboy raz beis dino, if it made a mistake based on the local beis din's psak, well, Rabbi Shimon Leslie, he doesn't accept this concept of Oiroz Bezdin from 1 Shevet. Elalav must be, we're talking about a case where the 1 Shevet made a mistake based on Oiroz Bezdin Agadol. Vitana Kama me. And who are we talking about, the Vitana Kama? He named Rab Meir, Haruba boy. He also needs the majority of Kleisel, not 1 Shevet. It must be Rabbi Yehuda, who says even 1 Shevet can bring. Elav Rabbi Yehuda. And we're talking about Kagon Shechata Shevet Echad. And we see you only chayv 1 par, and the other shvatim don't have to bring the others. So the Gemara says that's not a proof. Amri, we can explain the Baraisa differently. Hachmay eskinon, Kagon Shechatu Shisha Shvatim, Vein Ruben shall call. That case, let's say there were 6 shvatim that had a majority of the population. And it's the sheet of Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, then in that case you bring a par. The Tanya, like we mentioned, Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar Omer Mishmod Rab Meir, Chatu Shisha Vein Ruben shall call, or Shiva Aval Pisha and Ruben shall call, Mevian par. So that could explain the Baraisa, it's not a kasha. Toshma. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Shevet Sha'aso Beiraz Beis Dino. So here we're told explicitly what the case is. Shevet bin Yamin does action based on an improper psak by its bezdin. Also, our shevet chayiv. So only that shevet brings a par, and it says explicitly, ushar kol hashvatim pturim. But that's its local bezdin. But ubohiroz beis nagadol afilu shar shvatim chayav. There, the other shvatim would have to bring. Shema mino. So we seem to have proved that, at least according to Rabbi Yehuda, that would be the din. And Amar Rav Ashi must need nami deka. Rav Ashi can actually prove it from the language of our mission. Diktani. Also, Yisrael Shevet al PM. If a local bezdin, the bezdin of that shevet, paskin, and that shevet acted on it, also shevet chayv v'sharkal hashvatim pturim. Only that shevet is chayv. Now, lamali lemisna ushar shvatim pturim. Why did the Mishnah have to specifically say the remaining shvatim don't bring? Haitana also a shevet chayv. It clearly said only that shevet is chayv. The kivin to tano is shevet chayv. The meli adana shar shvatim pturim. I know clearly from that language that the remaining shvatim are potter. Elaha kamashvalon. It's by Raz Bezdin. Beis Dino who the Shar Shvatim Ptum. You know when the other Shvatim don't have to bring if one Shevet sins? That's if that one Shevet acted based on the psak of its local Bezdin. So we proved in two ways that according to Rabbi Yehuda, the other Shvatim would bring if one Shevet acted based on the Horos Beis Nagadol, that the other Shvatim would bring as well. Okay. Iboilu. We ask another theoretical question. Shevet echad sha'asa b'Horos Beis Nagadol. You have one Shevet that acted mistakenly based on a psak of Beis Nagadol. According to Reb Shimon, mimaisi or lo. Does Reb Shimon require them to bring a korban or not? Toshma. Ma'in meviin par echad, that if one shevet makes a mistake, according to Rabbi Yehuda, you bring one. Reb Shimon omer shnei parim, not just the shevet brings, but the basin brings. Now, b'may askinan, what case we talk about? Ilay mishachatu shiva can't be 7 sinning, because it wouldn't be shnei parim, it would be shmona parim boy. 7 plus 1. Ela chatu shevet echad. We're talking about one shevet sin. Ubamai. And what kind of sinning? Ilema by Raz Beis Dino, it violated a psak of its own bezdin. Reb Shimon Leslie. Reb Shimon doesn't hold that in such a case you bring a korban. It's only when Beis Nagadol makes it. Ela by Raz Beis Nagadol. So therefore, there seems to be a proof, according to Reb Shimon, that they do bring a par or shnei parim based on Hoyraz Beis Nagadol. Frankly, more of a tizbur, is that correct? Tanakama Mani. Who is the Tanakama of our case? Rav Meir Haruba boy. He doesn't even allow a par unless the majority of Klal Yisrael did it. Well, he didn't say with one shevet. Rabbi Yehuda, well, we know Rabbi Yehuda's shita, Shar Shvatim Nami Maisi. Remember, the other Shvatim are dragged along. So who must it be? Hamani Rosh Ben Elazar. And it's got to be 6 Shvatim that are Rava Kol. And it's Reb Shimon who holds that you would bring 2 parim, one for the Kol, and one for Bezdin. Kedetanya. Like we brought in the other Baraisa, Toshma. Chachamim oimrim, lo'olam en achayv al aros Bezdin agadol. That it's not the local Bezdin, it's the Haros agadol. Man chachamim. Ilem Rab Meir, it can't be one shevet Ruba boy. Ela Rab Shimon. So it's a sheet of Rab Shimon. Shmami no. If one shevet sins, but Raz Bezdin, that shevet also brings a par. Then we said Rabbi Yehuda, Rab Shimon, they are both agreeing that even when one shevet sins, they bring a korban, because a shevet is called a kohal. So where does Rabbi Yehuda and Rab Shimon shevet echad deikri kol minalahu? Where do you see that even an individual shevet is called kahal? T'chsiv says in Divrei Yomi, vayamod Yoshafat bekahal Yehuda Yerushalayim nocha chotzer beis Hashem achadasha. My chadasha Amrav Yochanan chitshu dvarim v'amru tvul yom al yikanis b'mach levi. They made a new halacha that somebody who was tummy went to the mikveh and he's a tvul yom, he didn't have the hair of shemesh, he's not allowed to go to machna leviyah. But that's not the point of this brayso. The point is that Yehuda is called kahal. So maybe that's a source. So maskifla, Ravacha bar Yaakov, Ravacha disproves it. Mimai dilma shani Yerushalayim davinami binyamin. Remember, there were 2 shvatim that had land in Yerushalayim, Yehuda and Binyamin. So maybe that's why Dafka Yerushalayim is called Kahal, because it's more than one shevet. El Amar Ravacha bar Yaakov, different proof. T'chsiv. When Yaakov came home, Vayomer Elai Nanim Afrecha v'Bisicha Unesaticha leKalami. Now, who had just been born? Manis Yalid Le'ahi Shaita. right? Binyamin. On his way home and when Rachel died. And then when he comes home, he's told that you'll be a kahal amim. Shma mina achikam rachmana. Misad lechahashta kahal achrina. Now that Binyamin was born, you have a new kahal that's been born. So we see even one shevet is called a kahal. Armer le Rav Shva le Rav Kana. Dilmachi kamer le Rachmana. Lechimisyad lecha Binyamin. Maybe there were 11 shvatim before Binyamin. Once you have Binyamin, now Davish Nemasar Shvatim, the Miskri is called. Maybe it was at the birth of Binyamin that now Klai Yisrael is called a Kal because they have 12. Armer le Elish Nemasar Shvatim Mikri Kal, Achadasar Shvatim Lo Ikri Kal. So no. So we're back to the original proof that even one shevet is called kahal. Okay, we'll stop here. This price, we will begin tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to learn at 6:30.
And Navi at
And the
8.
coffee at 8 o'clock.
Okay, very
Good
good.
night.
Good night.
Everybody.
Good luck, everyone.